Good morning YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's episode we take the e92 M3 back to the mothership, so back to BMW. Now I've received a recall. I mean, I've had this thing come through every couple of months for as long as I've had it. I mean, when I first bought the car I was aware there was a fire issue. People said drop the glove box, check the cables, if they're not black carry on as you are, and obviously if you get any smoke or anything in the cabin, get it looked at ASAP. So basically this letter's now starting to wind me up because I keep getting them every couple of months. So it's understandable. BMW have got a safety recall to complete. I thought, you know what, we'll just get it booked in. I've got some time. Whilst I was on the phone to them, inquired about taking out a new G82, which they've come through with today, so they've advised, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, we'll go through the process of what I did for booking in. So this is the letter received from BMW. Now I've been getting these for the past couple of months, unfortunately, so it's my fault for not following it up sooner. But ultimately it's a safety recall that they're going to keep sending you until you take it to your local dealer to get fixed. Now in question it's the heater fan motor on the e92 M3 that has an issue where they do catch fire, unfortunately. I mean, I've never noticed any issues, but it gives you some of the things here. So intermittent or complete failure of the heater blower, smell scorching burn within the vehicle cabin, smoke within the cabin from the interior vents, and you shouldn't use the car. And to be honest with you, are there people that would drive their car if there was smoke coming out of the vents? But I guess ultimately 20 years ago when you bought a car, an owner's manual came with details on how to adjust the valves. Now the manuals tell you not to drink the battery acid, so I think that says it all really. But yeah, we'll get off to BMW, get it booked in, and run you guys through on the process. Good morning, I'm just calling to get in for a recall that I've got on my BMW M3. I've received a letter saying something safety related to it. Just wanted to inquire what that is and obviously how to move forward.
That's fine, I'm just going to pop you through to the right department now, okay?
No worries, thank you. Yep, hi Harry, my name's James and the registration is J5FVN. I received an angry red letter saying something was outstanding, so for recall.
Is it the M3?
That's it, yeah. That's the one, yeah.
Perfect. That's my favourite.
Yeah, well, don't see many of them on the road now. Certainly becoming rarer and rarer. Yeah, that's the plan. I needed to ask you, Harry, is there any issues with the recall? Because it's quite heavily, well, I say heavily modified. It's got quite a few changes. Is that going to affect anything with the recall?
It shouldn't, no. I mean, this is to do with the heating and plumbing system.
Oh, okay, perfect. That's marvellous. I did want to ask, Harry, if it's an option, I don't know how it ties in, but have you guys got a G80 M3 with the carbon seats on demo by any chance while I'm in? It'd be perfect time to have a go in one. I was very intrigued by them in the time I've had mine.
Yeah.
And then now on the way to BMW. Oh. So with the car all booked in, they said it'd be about 2.5 weeks, which leads us to this morning where we're on our way to BMW in Sunningdale and Ascot, which is my local dealer. Some say it is the most expensive coffee in the world, not because they charge you for the coffee, but if you come out of a big bill, it can be bad. But that's not the same for, say, any dealer really. BMW, Audi, even with the Renault stuff. Like if you've got a lemon of a car, it can be an expensive day. So I'll be intrigued to see what they say today with the like they do like a walk around video on the car and tell you if there's anything that's caught their attention, anything that you need to do. The only thing I think is I'm going to have a recall potentially for the DCT sump that's got a slight misting on it. So it's not bad, but they all seem to suffer it from what I've seen. Just a bit of misting. It's not weeping, it's not leaking, it doesn't leave puddles, but I think that's probably the only thing they're going to pick up on today. So, same as mine, I guess. Is it electronic handbrake in these as well?
Yeah, so electronic. It's not engaged at the moment because I just left it in the park gear, but simply just knock it to the drive position, so it's the same kind of feeling. The only difference is now you get a parking gear, because in yours it's drive or reverse to keep it locked.
Right.
And then in terms of general controls, I've preset it out for M1 to be comfy, M2 to be everything loose and wild.
Which I'd rather have some heat in the tyres on Cup 2s today.
Yeah, so to give you an idea, so in the car, so similar to yours, you have an M menu. And I can't remember if the e92 had the M2 buttons, but
yes, no, the F80 it came in. Yeah, that's the only first time I've used those. In mine, you just get the one M button, so it's just a preset.
Perfect. I knew you had something, but I wasn't too sure.
Yeah.
So in this.
Jeez, wow. You wouldn't do that in mine. Jesus. Little squirm, but lovely still, just right that you still get a bit of feedback of what it's doing underneath you, and the seats, you just feel like you know what's happening. It's really nice. Generally, it's impressed me more than I thought. I would say the shifts initially are the thing that are the most disappointing, and that's just my opinion coming from a DCT. I miss that thud, and then that's as hard as it'll be now, isn't it? That's
so the only way it will ever be harder is when you're absolutely going all on it. So if you're revving it all the way up to 6.5, then punch it, because like you said with the DCT, when you rev that hard, I've shifted gear so hard sometimes that in my M4 I feel
it breaks.
It sounds like it broke something.
Hard. Have you driven SMG?
Not yet.
No. Oh man, you need to take one of them out. I suppose you don't get them in the dealership. Go on straight on.
No.
And this is still in the X drive now with the MDM Super. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
That's genuinely shocked me how well that puts the power down. Like, I did not think today wasted time when I saw Cup 2s, but I wouldn't want to drive it in the winter. But is it clear the whole way?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that? That, like, it feels like I go to shift and it holds it back. Did you feel that? Like,
I felt that. I'm surprised it kind of cut it short.
Yeah, and it wasn't that time I didn't go. I've kept in the middle of the road because I wasn't sure how much of a movement it was going to have with the MDM, but
that's all right.
I don't like the gearbox.
Yeah.
That's my biggest gripe, and I don't think buying a manual would. You can buy a manual, can't you?
Only in the US.
Ah.
So it's because the M3 and M4 only a competition in the UK.
Ah,
and
okay.
Only automatic. Only the base M3 and M4 are manual options.
Yeah, the gearbox, like, well, you've got a DCT in your M4, so you know full well what it's like. I don't think it's got that factor of fun for it, but it is a better all-round car. It doesn't feel as big on the road as it looked when we were stood outside the showroom, which is nice.
Yeah, it's a little deceptive, isn't it?
Yeah, the torque is that. That is incredible, the way that picks up like that. Like, let's say for me, coming from the V8, if you're not at 6k.
Yeah.
Do you know what? The noise is actually. I don't think I like the sound of. No offence to yours, the F80. It's never.
Yeah.
It's never been. I don't know whether you've seen they've started single turbo converting them now.
I've seen some on.
They sound better. They sound like the B58 then. But would you spend $7 grand? Definitely, for me, that is quick. Like I wouldn't even be able to touch that in the e92 at all, and even like you say in the F80. But did I enjoy that?
Yeah.
It feels better, dare I say it, to shift at like 6 rather than take it all the way to the 7, like 6, 8. Because you get smooth through that shift. Well, again, Jay, thank you for making it happen, mate. I really appreciate that, and I will definitely take your details. But if I'm dead honest with you now, it wouldn't make me want to buy one.
Yeah.
And I was surprised about that because I thought, I mean, like I say, it's difficult in 20 minutes to say, yes, this is the car I would go and spend that money on. But it sounds really bizarre, but I think the gearbox is the worst part of it for me. I'm not saying that's for everyone, but...
Well, that's the thing, you are a bit more driver focused, you're a bit more inclined to understand how it feels, how it rides. So if anyone's going to make that judgment, it would probably be someone like yourself to be able to make that kind of call.
And like
like you say, there are going to be people that don't like the way the DCT drives. That's the thing. It's not only, you know, it doesn't work for everyone.
No, and like I said, there are going to be some people who will probably never get it close to the yellow line, so they'll never even know that that's a...
Yeah, like a...
So on.
What I will say is BMW have sorted out, like, how planted it feels. Because if you'd have told me, without showing me we was on Cup 2s today, I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And a friend kindly let me drive a Porsche GT4 of his on Cup 2s in the wet, and like, incredible car, but again I was like, this is a lot of value on a car in the wet on Cup 2s, and this I wouldn't even think twice about.
Yeah, he's just so planted.
Were we talking?
Yeah. We almost have a coffee while you do that.
Yeah, but we've got the holders. Yeah, just, I don't know, like, I don't know what I really thought today when I spoke to you. That's why I was curious. It wasn't like something that I was like, yeah, I'm 100%, this is going to be the... I think the problem is you're spoiled from older stuff, that you have a, like, if someone had driven, like, if we come here in my 240, my missus' 240i, this would be incredible. This would be, there wouldn't be any question in it, the chassis, the way the power goes, but for the mileage I do, so I don't, like I say, I'm not someone who sits on the motorway and does 15k a year who needs it to be practical.
Yeah.
But it is nice to have the comforts. But yeah, I don't know. For me, Jay, I think as much as I've loved like trying it out there, and again, thanks again for letting me take it out. It's, I don't know, who knows in years to come when they come down in price, and maybe they can sort the box out with mapping, because they've done that before with gearboxes.
Yeah,
but
it's true.
You wouldn't want to buy a brand new car and start mapping it, but. And this is as good as it gets, isn't it? This is a top spec.
Yeah, this is about as good as the M4 comes. The only way to maybe take a slightly change in direction is if you were to explore things like the M5, but
too big
package, yeah.
Yeah, it came back in one piece. That was good. I say that as I'm just about to park it. There's a play of bad words there. So we have left BMW, recall completed as expected. The only thing he said was there's a bit of misting on the DCT gearbox. Again, confirmed it was pretty common. So no interest in paying BMW prices to have that repaired. But at some stage, I would like to get that fixed and put a billet sump on it, which is an aftermarket option. Now, obviously we've got to talk about going out in the M4. Incredible bit of kit. And I love the seats. But the gearbox is just, like, it's fine, it works, it's not a running issue, it's just an auto. It does not feel special like the DCT at all, and that for me would be a massive deal breaker for it to be a fun car. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a great daily, it feels so planted on the road, it doesn't make a bad noise from in the cabin. I get that it's probably a little bit artificial, but yeah, a big thanks to Jay for letting me experience in it. Unfortunately, not anything that I've been looking to move forward with, and it just goes to show why so many people keep coming back to this sort of older stuff, the naturally aspirated stuff. And I mean, you guys saw today, it's damp, it's wet, it's slippery. It was on Cup 2s, and we pulled off hard in first, and it just did it. No drama, no messing about. Unbelievable in that respect, like the technology that allows you to do that now, especially with the X-Drive setup. And the beauty of it is, if you want to turn it off, put it all to rear wheel drive, you can do, which he offered. I said in this weather, no, we'll just drive it in the setup where it's most aggressive, in the X-Drive with the MDM on. And it had enough slip, but every time I was pushing hard on that gearbox, it just didn't feel rewarding to do it. I would probably end up leaving that in auto most of the time, which is a lot like my missus' 240i with a B58 in it. But yeah, really cool car. I can see why people love them. I love the grills. Won't be buying one anytime soon, maybe years down the line if my situation changes where you need something that's probably 80% daily, 20% fun. Whereas for me, at the moment, without kids and things like that, my drives are all about being good fun. So that's what I'm going to stick to in this. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the little insight into dropping the car off. BMW did all the work with all of the bits and bobs still in there with the cage and the airbox. Until next time, thanks for watching. This is what you can't beat. Drop it down. Oh. Ah. That is just... Ah. As cool as that M4 was. mega. Being back in this now, like, yeah, no, I'm not ready to make the change yet. I'm going to cling on to that 600 and whatever it is £1 a year road tax. But I do want a set of those seats in here. I know they bolt in, and as they've been proven to work in the F80, means we can get them working in an E92 surely. But what a soundtrack, what a gearbox. I have got to say a big thanks to Jay Tutton today, the salesman from BMW Sytner in Ascot and Sunningdale. Like, genuinely nice, enthusiastic guy, owns an F82 M4, so he's like well understanding of all the points on board. If you need an M car and you're going to go main dealer, I'll link him in the description. Just a genuine, honest person, no pressure, but gives you all the information you need, all on hand, and he's done all the M experience stuff, so he knows all about the car. If I'd have took that out on my own, I wouldn't have known how to put it in half the modes. I was watching him go through the screens. You need a school lesson to operate that. So big thanks again, Jay. Really appreciated the opportunity. Just unfortunately, not one I'm going to be buying anytime soon.